Hi cuties. So if you know anything about me, Jack the Ripper, you know I love a good old-fashioned survival horror video game. The silly corny voice acting? Yummy. The over-the-shoulder camera angle? Delicioso. And today I'm here to speak about Shadows of the Damned, and in particular the hella remastered version. What an incredible title, by the way. Let me just say, I have been ecstatic waiting for this remaster ever since they delisted the original from digital storefronts, whenever the hell that happened, I don't remember. When I was a kid though, I gave this game a chance and I promptly fell off of it because my gaming taste buds weren't fully developed yet, I admit it. But coming back to it this year as a 23-year-old man, it made me realize I was sleeping on one of the funniest games I've ever played for real. But before I get into why I love this video game so much, I want to speak on its backstory a little bit because it has a really unique, interesting one. For those of you who are aware, this is written by Suda51 of No More Heroes and Killer 7 fame, but it's also got help from none other than Shinji Mikami, you know, the Resident Evil creator, no biggie. You're probably thinking to yourself, there's no way there's somebody else of that same legendary stature working on the game as well. I mean, just some guy named Akira Yamaoka who's cooked up the music for like every fantastic, great survival horror game in the past 2 decades. Another no biggie. It does sadden me to report the game flopped originally, like Black Ops 2 Dolphin Dive flopped, and you know what, I'm gonna blame EA for whatever reason, I just feel like it, so. By the way, that's not just me being facetious. You wanna know a Jack the Ripper fun fact, y'all? This game almost had Masahiro Ito monster designs in it, but Shadows of the Damned was reworked several times during its development cycle. Are you curious about that also? Well, guess what? EA essentially lied to Suda51 during his pitch and made it seem like they were perfectly okay with the original ideas he had, but they kept making him change it to appease the Western fanbase. One of his ideas included having the main character start with no clothes or weapons and accrue them as the game continued, but EA was like, nah, Americans like guns, bitch. Make them start with that shit or peace out. Man, fuck EA, dude. Shadows of the Damned just feels like the perfect mix of Suda51's writing style and that sort of linear, action-packed horror gameplay we've come to anticipate from Shinji Mikami. Duh, bitch. Now, I'm gonna just come out and say it straight up, this game will not be for everybody. If you didn't like the jankiness of a title like Evil Within that came a few years afterwards, or perhaps you hate to hear a nice little penis joke, you will despise this video game. It is hella stiff, the remaster has no way to change any graphical settings on PC, it's like 8 hours long, and the word boner is said approximately 482 times. To me, that sounds like a romp and a riot, and that's exactly what it is. Let's just go ahead and dive into the story. You're playing as a man named Garcia Hotspur. What a fucking name once again. And he is a demon hunter who watched his girlfriend Paula get overtaken by the Lord of Demons Fleming, who does some super vile ass shit to her, so of course he takes it upon himself to go on a John Wick style expedition to clap that motherfucker and save his woman. Very similar to Resident Evil 4, playing as a badass dude trying to save a girl, you know, but different in the sense that you have a sidekick named Johnson, which is totally not an allegory for a penis, guys. The sidekick is the item who can also transform into all of your guns, which is the classic pistol, submachine gun, and shotgun loadout we've become accustomed to in many a survival horror game. Johnson and Garcia are the ones who keep the plot moving along as you play. You know, they're going to be quipping to one another with exposition of how Garcia and Paula met, and of course, more silly penis sex jokes.
Thanks, my big motor.
I mean, the story is basic, easy to follow along with, and dramatic as fuck, which is all a Suda51 game should ever be, to be fair. I'll just come out and be honest, the writing is either going to make you cringe and puke or giggle and fart, and I happen to be the latter, so like I said, you're either going to love it or hate it. Now, if you're wondering how it plays, I would actually say the gameplay is closer to Dead Space than Resident Evil 4, especially with the ability to aim and move at the same time. It's the same basic premise too, you shoot creatures in the head, they explode, and drop currency for you. I mean, come on. There's a few different types of demons and a litany of bosses to run through with the typical gigantic weak spots to shoot at, and this always manages to scratch my smooth milkshake textured brain, y'all. Like I said before, there's 3 different weapons that have upgrade paths, and you collect these red gems to do that. Demons will drop white gems, and you can cash that at vending machines for health, which aren't herbs, but rather good old bottles of alcohol, because apparently that's a healing remedy in the underworld. Of course, there is a merchant in this game, but instead of saying, "What are you buying?" he slurps the white gems out of the palm of your hand and makes a silly little joke.
Y'all take care now.
His name is Christopher, and he might be the greatest merchant out of any video game I've ever played. Sue me, bitch. So more on Garcia's arsenal, his gun has an alternate fire mode called the light shot, and it's utilized in moments where the darkness starts to overtake him. And you can use this light shot to brighten an area, or even burn a demon to soften him up a bit and make him an easier kill. As far as gameplay goes, that's really about as deep as it is, y'all, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, there's these little storybook side-scroller, castle crasher-ass intermissions, but honestly, this is genuinely a headshot clicker simulator. And oh boy, is it juicy to bust a head open in this game. Shadows of the Damned does not have very many puzzles, and the characters even resent the idea of them when you have to complete one of the very few in the game. Sometimes you need to play a game like this that really turns your brain off and just makes you giggle a bit, you know? Just bringing you back to a time where games like this were the norm. A cheap $25 experience that doesn't take up too much of your time and just wants to tell a good penis joke. It's not scary, it does not control the best, but boy oh boy does it leave a lasting impression on you. Playing this game was some of the most fun I've had this entire year because I just respect it for what it is. Not every video game has to be AAA polished perfection. I mean, I played this game at 720p on my Steam Deck and it played like an absolute Unreal Engine 3 dream. Honestly, that's the worst thing about this quote-unquote remaster, is that they've kind of just kept it exactly how it used to be. The graphics, animations, everything is identical to the 360 and PS3 counterpart, and that's perfectly okay. We need to start normalizing re-releasing delisted games for even cheaper than their launch MSRP. Shadows of the Damned Hella Remastered is on damn near every single platform now, so you truly have no excuse to not pick this game up and support it because, like I said, it's only 25 smackaroskis, dude. I mean, it's double the runtime of a full-priced Resident Evil 3 remake. I will never forgive you for that, Capcom bitch. If you're looking for a funny action game to complete over the weekend or something like that, I'd say give this game a shot. Sadly, if you want the disc like me, the physical was a limited run release, so that shit is of course triple the price on eBay now. Great, but for $25, this is a steal. I really hope the remaster does well because maybe then Suda51 and Grasshopper Manufacturer will revisit this franchise and give it a much needed sequel. As far as the Certified Ripper ranking system goes, I would love to plug this bitch in at a modest 8 rips out of 10 rips. That's really about it though, y'all. I want to say thank you for all the love and hate on the most recent Game Awards video I made. You guys are the best. Also, thank you guys for 940 subs. That shit makes me tear up when I view it. But yeah, for real, go check out Shadows of the Damned, y'all. It's in this weird limbo space of being forgotten about, but also cult classic status, so give it a spin. Comment down below if you've ever actually checked this game out before, because I feel like to be aware of this title, you gotta be really locked in on Suda51 games, and I'd love to discuss it more with y'all down below. That's all I got though, cuties. Make sure you drop a like shot on the like button, perhaps blow up the subscribe, and I love you guys. Bye!